Hi, my name is Alora Young. I am a senior at Hillsborough High School, and almost everything I love in this world is no longer alive. The piece I've submitted to this contest for consideration is the amalgamation of the last 2 years of me trying to recover all of these lost stories and people and places. More specifically, a tiny place called Halls, Tennessee. It's a Rust Belt town it was a railway stop in the 1870s, and that's how it began. And then it evolved into a hotspot for manufacturing during the 40s. There was an airbase there and a really big Tupperware factory where they basically manufactured products that we now manufacture in other countries. And no industry has come to replace the railroad or the Tupperware, and so it's dying. And the reason it hurts so much that this tiny place called Halls, Tennessee is dying is that for 270 years, my family has lived there. And technically speaking, the last gift my grandmother ever gave me was a Dance Dance Revolution mat because she wanted me to exercise instead of reading so much, because I was a child who would go to Halls during the summer and sit on the back porch because she had a fenced-in porch and I was afraid of bugs, so it made me very happy. And I would read and read and read, and I once read 30 books in a summer and went to the park that was down the street once. So she was like, "Lolo, maybe you should dance Revolution." And I was really mad about that. But that was the same year she passed away. So that Dance Dance Revolution mat held a lot of importance to me. But I think that the Dance Dance Revolution mat was only a part of the last gift she would ever give me. Because she gave me stories, not in her lifetime, but stories I gained from my mom and from like her writings that I found during my search for, I suppose, who I am through Halls and its archives and the stories it had to tell, and the life lessons she taught me about what it means to be a fair weather friend and how we can cope with loss how we can cope with loss despite having never really known that we had it in the first place. I don't know. But exploring this world and exploring her story and the stories of all of my grandmothers before her, and learning how they all loved to dance, and how my great-grandmother would dance on the porch in her little one-bedroom house in the middle of nowhere, West Tennessee, where there's nothing but cotton fields for miles, and she would just dance on the porch to the one radio station they could get from Memphis. And how my great-great-grandmother had learned tribal dances from her mother, and they had been passed down, and all of this art had somehow culminated in me getting a Dance Dance Revolution mat. But I suppose it's more of an exploration as to how the story of Gentry, my great-grandmother, and the story of Yvonne, my grandmother, and my mother and me, is one that America doesn't really like to hear. Because I promise I've searched, and finding stories of what it means to be a black girl is exponentially more difficult than finding anything else. I spend so much of my life researching, and yet I can never find these tales that I'm desperately digging for, because it seems like they don't exist, but I know they exist because I am them. And so I wrote this tome, I guess. It's this grimoire as a way of chronicling black girlhood and making sure that even though Yvonne is gone and so is Gentry, that in my family tree or in any other black girls, they will always know they have been there and they have been a part of history. And most of all, that even as Halls keeps on dying, it won't ever truly be dead, because I have made it, I suppose, immortal within its pages. And that is something that gives me incredible pride. I believe that this work has a place in the Black history canon. And that sounds incredibly conceited to say, but I feel that it is the story of black girlhood told in the way that black girlhood is in reality. It is that rhythm, that music, that art without the instruments, because we didn't always have those, but we always had our words, we always had our stories, and even when they weren't on pages, we would pass them down for generations. And I feel that this book is the format they've belonged in, and I truly feel that I can help other black girls to never feel as alone as I did. In summation, this is more than a story to me. It's a legacy. And I hope that you will see that. Thank you.